So this is the team, and obviously I've introduced Suzanne already because Kirsty's also on the call. She's our membership manager. So when you do join, you'll definitely be in contact with her. But I just also wanted to point out, and probably embarrass them a bit now because they're on the call, Clive and Graham, our founders. They have both chaired organizations like this in the past, and they have quite a pedigree in terms of running agencies. So Clive's been involved in so many agencies. I've Discount, Marketing Drive, Kick Out Noir. The list just goes on. And Graham was the founder of the Marketing Store, which is a pretty big agency, I would say. So I just want to show you them because there's some good old heads, behind this organization. And it's not just us who run the whole thing. It is our advisory board also, who we seek counsel from. And these are 12 shining lights in the industry. And they really help us to steer the organization so we can really tailor our services for independent agencies. And we are lucky to be joined by two of them today, Becky Gard and Atom. Hey, so Becky, I think I'll pass over to you first. Could you give us some of your experiences, in the alliance with, the Festival of Happiness and People Pulse and those sort of areas in the training?
Yeah, so hello everybody. I'm Becky. I'm managing director at Distillery London. So yeah, we joined the Alliance 2 years ago, and I have been very honoured to be asked to be part of the advisory board. We meet regularly. It's really a chance for me to see the inner workings of the Alliance, and it is a fantastic organization to be affiliated with, and I'm not just saying that. And we over the years have participated in the People Pulse, which is really valuable. It's a way of it is a real temperature check, and it really does help to sort of see the lay of the land across the industry. And also, I was blown away by last year. We went to the Festival of Happiness, which was held at Google's HQ and was just jam-packed full of great speakers who both entertained but also educated on things that we could take back to our team, and genuinely learned quite a lot about how to be mindful, how to look after yourself at work, and various other ways. We were really blown away. So we're signing ourselves up again for this year. So there's lots of events that I'm a big advocate for everyone to attend. And yeah, the board has been a real eye-opener for me. It's been really interesting to see how, again, I can't help but sound really corny, how the Alliance is very, very focused on not only, Terry mentioned, not only your C-suites, but also, looking at ways that you can engage anyone from your exec through to your C-suite. So it is for everyone, and it's been very rewarding for some of the training that my team have taken has really made an impact. So yeah, I can't speak highly enough of the Alliance.
Very much, Becky. Appreciate that.
No worries.
Atom, would you be able to tell us a bit about your experience with the action groups and GreenJam for your team? Oh, you're on mute.
I don't know how many times that has happened to me, and I've been using this thing for the last three or 4 years or so. Anyway, good morning, everyone. I'm Atom, founder of Rant and Rave, an inclusive marketing agency. So I've joined the Alliance in, I think, is it 2020? I can't quite remember, 2020 or 2021. And I can't highly recommend sort of joining the organization, because it's been helpful to me on two fronts. I think let's start with from a personal perspective. In terms of being part of the Alliance has allowed me to connect with other founders of agencies and individuals like Clive and Graham, who've been doing this for years. So they're great sounding boards for someone who's only been running an agency or founded an agency for the last 4 years. So that has been a great, I suppose, great community to have to kind of use as a sounding board when one's facing a few sort of difficulties and decision-making processes, as it were, internally. From the agency perspective, yes, I mean, I can't speak highly of it enough, because it's been great to get the team involved in the Green Jams and involved in some of the action groups that have really supported them and provided a lot of insight, things that I personally can't do, things that within the agency we're unable to do. Um, and I believe that having that resource, or having the opportunity or someone that's external to us to provide that support for the team, um, be there to sort of use in terms of training, and give them the skills that they can certainly use and become better at their jobs, has been hugely invaluable to us. And I mean, there's not really much I can say more about that. If anyone is thinking about joining, uh, it's there's no point thinking about it. I think it's just a question of just doing it, really. The positives far great. So yeah.
Thanks very much, Aston. Appreciate that. Right, moving on. So what do we actually do? Well, three things really. Representation. We are the voice of independent agencies. Amplification. We build agencies' profiles and really shine a light on the incredible work that only independent agencies can do. And then a raft of support services, to really give you guys that support. I always sort of liken to, if you worked in a network agency, you'd have all this like sort of suite of benefits and this like these cushy sort of support services. We give those to our members, and I'm going to explain all of that right now. So in terms of representation, we're members of the Advertising Association. That's a big deal. You can see some big names on that council. But what's unique about us is that we are banging the drum for independent agencies. We're the only one who's really doing that within that council. And that's our interface to government, how we can lobby on our members' behalf, how we can distill that information from government down to our members. So that's a very important position that we have on that council. And apart from that, we also are raising issues and really fighting the cause for independent agencies. And we do this through our membership of the debating group. So recently, we just hosted a debate in the House of Commons. And that was the motion there. The House believes that payment terms by big companies should be subject to legislation. So we really are fighting the call. We're in your corner, for the independent agencies, representing you and fighting on your behalf. And that particular one that we are pushing at the moment, we're going to really push that throughout this year, and really trying to shine a light on payment terms and how large companies are really treating small companies unfairly. So that's a big mission for us to try and really shine a light on that in the next couple of months. So it's the amplification. There's two really big things that we do here: the Independent Agency Awards and our media partner, This Black Book Online. I'm going to go into that in a bit more detail. So the Independent Agency Awards, this is really the big ticket item. This is how we really shine a light on the incredible work that only independent agencies can do. And as you can see by that row of sponsors on there, it's a big deal. And having that sort of weight of sponsor, it really supercharges the exposure that you get when you're involved in the awards. Now, it is hosted at MadFest, which is the biggest marketing festival in the UK. I think this year they had something like 15,000 people over 3 days. It's absolutely nuts. We take over that festival on the first night. So we're really representing independent agencies, putting you on the biggest stage that we have in the industry to shine a light on you guys. But it's not just that awards night. There's a whole run-up and lots of different events as we go towards the awards. And one that I'll pick out is the round 2 judging, which happens at the Google offices because they're sponsors. And basically,
there's going to be hounding for the rest of his life, and maybe that's not there. Maybe
let's just there we go. So we get 100 of our judges all together at the Google offices, and we have a commitment where 50% of those judges have to be senior decision-making clients. We've had some of the biggest sort of brands there, and some of the biggest challenger brands there also. Director of marketing for Heineken, director of marketing for Lego, Corson Press, all those sort of big names are there. We bring our judges together, and our members get first pick on being a judge at Google. We get them together, we mix the team so it's half clients, half agency. They meet each other and they debate the work and choose the winners that are celebrated at MadFest. So the atmosphere is electric. It's a great way to meet your peers and to meet some of the movers and shakers in the client's area. Now on to Little Black Book. So we work very closely with Little Black Book to try and help build the profile of our agencies, but not just the agencies, also the people within the agencies. And some great examples here on this slide. So there's Jamie Matthews, one of our members, CEO of Initials. And that is an interview series that we did with them called Rolling with the Pictures. So we shine a light on the person who's managing that process in the agency. And it's a really candid and fun interview. But as you can imagine, new business is just nuts, right? I think one of the revelations that someone sort of walked into a pitch and punch the clients or something like that. It's some really, really funny things that happen in your business. And I'm sure you all can agree with that. So that's a great way for us to sort of expose those people who are working within that area. We've got our creative hero piece where we sort of focus on more the junior sort of person in the agency. But the reason why we do that is that we shine a light on that person to show how incredible they are, and their work is so good. But at the same time, we show how the agency gave them that space to actually grow and become this incredible creative hero. So if you're a member, if you've got any news that you want to get out, you've got new hires, or you want a bit of work, or you've just launched a new sustainability initiative, whatever it is, sort of thing, come to us. We'll work with you together, and we'll get it published on a very well respected platform that I think has 250,000 unique readers every month. So that's just part of your membership. You have access to being published on LBB. Right, now we're going into the support services. So everything that we do in support falls under 3 pillars: people, purpose, and performance. And our mantra is that if you get people and purpose right, it will drive the performance. We've seen it time and time again. It's actually one of the themes for the Festival of Happiness that I'll be talking about later. But it really is our mantra. And that's basically how the Alliance works. It develops your people, develops your agency, and in turn, that drives the performance. Because if you've got happy people in your agency, you're going to be successful, definitely. And that's how we do it. So these are actually our 3 co-chairs who have a term of 2 years each, and they look after those pillars and make sure that we're really, driving those agendas within those different pillars. So straight away in those pillars, you've got the action groups, and this is the engine room of the Alliance. This is where you guys, when you sign up, can get maximum value from day one from you sign up. These groups actually run every quarter, so there's 10 of them every quarter, which means 40 in a year. Just put those in your diary straight away. 40 free events that you can go to, where you can network, come together with your peers and discuss timely issues, things that are really affecting our agencies at this time. And the thing is, this is not just about people coming together and having a chin wag. This is actually coming together to find solutions to these problems. So that's why they're called action groups, because they're focused on creating those outputs. So I'll just go through them very quickly so you just have an idea of what each one is. So in the people pillar, you've got the DEI, which is diversity, equity, inclusion. We want our agencies to be diverse, so we try and give you the latest techniques, make sure that you guys know where to look for diverse talent. How do you make your agency inclusive? That's the type of thing we speak about there. The talent group is for your sort of HR type of people, your people managers. We talk about recruitment, retention, benefits, all those things that fall under that umbrella. And then we've got the wellbeing group. And this is where we look at the latest techniques in looking after mental health, and we're really hot on this. This is a big focus for the Alliance, because like I said earlier, happy agency is a successful agency. Future Leaders is a nominated group, so there's only, is it Kirsty, 12 of them, I think, in a
That's
year?
right, yeah, 2 leaders and 10 participants.
and 10 people. And that's a real big accolade for an agency to have a future leader on that council. And they almost act as our shadow board. They've really influenced us in the years. Like 5 years ago, we weren't really looking into sustainability, well-being, mental health, all that, and they really pushed for us to spearhead that movement. And that's why 5 years ago we started talking about this before other people were really shining a light on it as much as it is done now. So that is a very, very part of the Alliance. Like I said, like our shadow board. The purpose pillar. So now you can see that that's actually run by our founders, and that gives you a little bit of insight into the type of people they are. Clive runs the CEO summits. I think the last one they did was around salary inflation, was it? No, collaboration was the one before that was on salary inflation. So you get the idea of the topics. It's a round table discussion. All the CEOs get a chance to actually speak and contribute. So they really come together to speak about those issues that are really affecting our agencies at a very high level. And the sustainability group run by Graham, we've got about 7 agencies, I think, now who are B Corp accredited, but some of them are just starting their journey. So that's the beauty of all these groups. All these agencies are at different levels, but they come together, they share, and they learn from each other. And just a little note on that, actually, our sweet spot for sort of size of agency is about, I would say, well, it's about 20 to 80 people within the agency. We've got some really big ones. You know, there's 2, I think, that have got over 1,000. But the sweet spot is around there, 20 people to 80. Performance pillar, creative groups. This is where we come together, all our creatives, you know, the graphic designers, creative directors, look at award-winning work, see why it won, inspire them by getting great creative directors to come and have a talk. Strategy and planning is for your strategists and your planners. Commercial group is for your FDs or MDs, depends, talking about property, agency profitability, all those things that really affect the commercial aspects of running an agency. And then the new business group, which is run by Dan, is also co-run by JFDI and Propeller, who are members of the Alliance. And this is where we really hone your skills in winning new business. So all of that is just part of the membership, and this very vibrant set of action groups where you guys, from day one, you know, you can start getting your people, the right people in within your agency, to come to these groups, learn, share, connect. Absolute amazing part of the Alliance there. Like I said, the engine room of the Alliance. So we've got those 40 action groups that happen during the year, but there's lots of other events that happen also within there. And I'm going to go through those now so you can see what we actually do also. So in the hot seat, so there's a nice past event we've got there with us interviewing Rankin. And the reason why we do the in the hot series, which we do every quarter, is really to try and give you guys some insight in the thinking of these top minds. And the next one that's coming up is with Joe Glover. And I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he actually is the founder of the Marketing Meetup, which is a community of about 45,000 marketeers around the world who organize events. So we'll be interviewing him. And then we've got our GreenJam series, which is probably my favorite part of the Alliance. GreenJam is for those people in the agency who are, I would say, up to account director level. That's a level. So more of the sort of the junior sort of end of the scale there. And what we try and do in those GreenJam sessions that happen every 2 weeks is to inspire and educate those people. So some great examples there of a previous one. What is the client services X factor? So we went out there, we found a panel of people who are really renowned for their client services. And then our GreenJam community could come and actually quiz them and say, you know, I've got this problem with the client. How can you help me solve it? So really trying to inspire them, educate them, give them access to those top minds. And next week, we've got our speed mentoring. So this is a great chance for, you know, your people to come in. We've assembled an incredible cast of mentors some of the top minds, you know, coaches, CEOs within our agents in our community. And your people will have a chance to actually have 10 minutes with each one of these people and quiz them on anything on their career to try and, you know, develop them. So that is some of the stuff that we do in terms of really trying to develop your people within your agency. Now, going back up to sort of the SLT level, quite soon, actually, 21st of September, we've got the UK Independent Agencies Conference, which is happening at the Curzon Cinema in Soho. So this is a day dedicated to independent agencies, and we'll be talking about all the things that are really affecting us at this time. And we've got some brilliant, really, really high-profile speakers there on that day. So this is a great day for you guys to come down to the Curzon Cinema, meet your peers, and listen to some really insightful talks. So we hope that you guys can join us on the 21st of September. Festival of Happiness. So as Becky said, this is a day dedicated to mental health and wellbeing, and we're really hot on this. And it's a day where our leaders come down to learn about the latest techniques in mental health and wellbeing, but also for staff to come down and learn tools like, you know, things like fortitude and resilience and financial wellbeing and things that are really important for agency people. It's a fun day also. I mean, it's in the name, right? Festival of Happiness. So we had last year, I think, some laughing yoga, a lady that was reading while hula hoop. I think Suzanne actually had a go at that.
I did my hula hoop thing, yeah.
You were brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. So it is fun. It's fun. But at the same time, it's very serious also because we're shining a light on a really, really important issue. So I hope you guys can also join us at that one. Right, benchmarking. So we do a couple of things in this area. And I think that some people, when they see this, they're like, it basically pushes them over the line. They're like, right, I'm sold. We're signing up. And we're pretty famous for one of our benchmarking studies that we do. So I'm going to go into those now. The People Pulse, right? So this is the one which really, really gets people excited. So this is a quarterly pulse survey that we send out to our members. And what we're trying to do here is try and ascertain the thoughts and the feelings of those people working in the agency, your people in the agency, which is obviously gold dust, right? If you know exactly what they're thinking, what they're feeling about working at the agency. There's 10 questions, and so it's very quick to answer. It's just a pulse, and it focuses on these areas, you know, pride, respect, well-being, etc., etc. So an example of some of the questions, one could be, do you have pride in your agency? Are you given learning and development opportunities? Is your leadership communicating effectively? And controversially, there's a question there that says, will you be in your agency in the next 12 months? And that type of stuff is, like I said, gold dust. We actually, when we did introduce that last question about leaving an agency in 12 months, there was, I think, 5 agencies that scored 100% that their people are going to stay there definitely over the next 12 months. So what we did was we grabbed those 5 agencies and said, how do you do this? How do you have such high retention? And with this pulse, every quarter, we get the membership together to discuss the results. Now, the beauty of this is, okay, you can imagine we've got 115 agencies, I think, in membership now. So you can imagine all those people within those agencies filling in the people pulse. But the beauty of it is that even though you see the results of the alliance as a whole, as a member, you get a personalized benchmarking report for your agency versus the alliance. And that's where the real value is, because then you can actually make significant change within your agency looking at those scores. But like I said, we get the membership together after every quarter, and we really do a deep dive into all the different results. So that is one of our premium products that is just part of your membership. Commercial Pulse, we do this twice a year. Now, this is a bit different. It's only filled in by one person in the agency, sort of your FD or your MD, that type of thing. But this is really future sort of focused, and it's a great way for your agency leadership to see what your peers are thinking, you know, what their next moves are in terms of running an agency. And as you can see there, you know, we look at business profitability, remuneration, client spend, all those sort of things. So it's a great tool and gives you a bit of confidence, you know, in terms of your choices in the commercial aspects of running an agency. We do a wellbeing survey, and we do it annually, and this is the information that we use and present back at the Festival of Happiness. And now this is a good example of us not just sort of just serving our members, but also serving the whole independent agency community. So that goes to all independent agencies out there. And like I said, it's a really, really good resource, and you guys will get that information as members. And then we have our legal services, which are run by Leon Thompson, who are very respected providers in this area. You get 30 minutes free every month with Leon Thompson. And they also administer our pitch protection scheme. So if you're going into a pitch, you're a bit worried about the client running away with your ideas, don't worry, we've got you covered. In 24 hours, we turn that around. You get a certificate that says, these ideas or this pitch document have been protected by the Alliance Pitch Protection Scheme administered by Leon Thompson. So it's a bit of a deterrent for clients, you know, running away with your ideas without paying you. And I'm sure that people have, you know, experienced that in the past. Now, everything that I've spoken about can all be accessed through the members area. So obviously, you know, we have distribution lists, and we communicate with our members all the time, but everything can be accessed through a members area, and you can get your whole team onto that members area. And this is where you can learn about latest member news, partner industry news is in there. You can access all the member benefits through the members area. So if you want to, you know, do some pitch protection, you can do it through there. You can sign up to the action groups through there. You can catch up on all of the past action groups and other events in there. So that's really, really key. So if you miss something, you can always go into the members area and you can look it up, watch the video, download the slides, read the brilliant key outtake notes that Kirsty produces for every single action group. You can view, like I said, our partners' news, special offers from our partners also, discounts, that type of thing. And very importantly, you can search out other member agencies because there is an agency directory in there. So we really, really want you guys to collaborate with each other. So go on there, search out other agencies, connect with them. Right. I've been speaking for a long time, I think, so it's time for a new voice.
Thanks, Terry.
Farah, yes, over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I'm Suzanne Barnes. I'm head of people here at the Alliance. I joined in January 2022 and previously did a similar role at the MAA. But before that, I spent most of my career, nearly 20 years, in agencies where I was a client services director. So I've kind of been in and around agencies all of my career, and I'm going to talk mainly about training today, but my title is head of people. And I think the first thing to say is, as members, I'm here as a resource for you to talk to about anything people related. Quite often the person responsible for training and people, it's just one person in the agency. And sometimes it's good to have somebody just to bounce ideas off. So I'm kind of here as a resource, really, an extension of your agency to talk to you about anything people or talent or training related. So if we could just go on to the next slide, please, Terry. We're not like a traditional commercial training organisation. We're a membership organisation, and we put on training for the benefit of our members and of agencies. So we want to make training as accessible to as many people as possible. We offer the training in different formats. We have lots of regional agencies, so not always able to come and do live training. Obviously, we want our training to be really good value. We try and price it kind of very competitively. Our cheapest courses are just £125 for members, which are from 90-minute sessions. So kind of really easy and accessible and affordable for most agencies. Obviously, we want to make sure all of our training we put on is relevant and engaging. So I spend a lot of my time talking to members about the sorts of training that they would like. And we'll often put on courses that have come out of an action group or out of conversations with members. Obviously, we'll only have training of the highest standard. Almost all of our trainers have been senior leaders in agencies, or they've worked in agencies, but they've also been training for a long time. So they really are, I think, the best of the best in the industry. As I said, you know, I'm kind of here as a resource, and something that we're going to be trialing from October is kind of a drop-in clinic whereby people can come on and just sort of ask about the training or any kind of issues that they're having, see if it's relevant for them. And we're also going to be doing videos to make it easier to share with our members what's up and coming in the next month. I think it's on the next slide, but we have over 100 training courses. So sometimes it's quite difficult. People do miss them. So we're just trying to make it as easy as possible to share what we're doing with everybody. As I said, you know, we're here to listen, to help, and if you join the membership, please kind of do that and use me and the team as a resource. Next slide, please. At the start of this year, we did a new website. As I said, we've got now 100 courses, and the old website was quite difficult to find. And now it's pretty easy. I don't know whether anybody has looked at it, but basically you can search via type of training, via duration, via location, whether it's online, on demand. So it's kind of really easy to see, or you can just look at it on a month-by-month basis. So if you're thinking of doing training, I'd encourage you to have a look at the website, or drop me a line, and I'm always very happy to have a conversation. I just did want to highlight one particular course that we do, which is the diploma. Next slide. If you go on to the next slide, that's a quote from one of our members who's been using it since it launched. But we do the diploma once a year. It used to be called the Diploma in Integrated Marketing, but this year we've spent quite a few months updating and refreshing it, talking to past delegates, talking to agency leaders that send people on it, to make sure that it was kind of future fit. Obviously, we work in a ever-changing world, and we wanted to make sure that this is absolutely you know, the best qualification out there. I think it is the only diploma which is solely for agency people. So you can't go on this if you're a client, you can't go on this if you're a supplier. And essentially it consists of 10 modules over 6 months. Half of them are virtual and half of them are face-to-face. So some of them are half-day workshops, some of them are full days. They do get a little bit of homework after a few of them, and there's some network events. But I think one of the kind of great things about it is they get a real live client brief. So this next diploma launches on the 22nd of September, and a client will be there and will give all of the delegates a brief, which they work on throughout the 6 months and then present to a panel of senior leaders and the client, which will be March 2024. And the responses we get are absolutely outstanding, because having done the 6 months, they can truly take a brief, ask the right questions, understand the consumer, media, what's a good creative idea, what's an insight. And we've had people who've been promoted over their boss who've kind of gone on this course. So as I said, it starts in September. It is our most expensive course at $1,750 for members, but actually when you break it down over 10 modules, it's probably our best value. So we only have 2 remaining places. So if anybody on here is interested, please do get in touch. I think on the next slide, just you'll see the 10 modules. Which I won't go through all of those, but you can kind of see, I think, having gone through that, it really does teach them the skills to be a kind of truly strategic partner with their clients. And certainly the feedback we get is fabulous. Agencies send people on it year after year. And it's not just for client service people, it's for planners and creative. And that's one of the great things, is that we get a real mix of people on it. And these people then have a network of kind of 25 people that have been on this program with them as a relatively junior person, because we say kind of up to 5 years. And then they usually stay in touch, and kind of as they progress in their career, they've got a ready-made network. So as I said, if anybody's interested, drop me a line after this or in the chat or something. And yeah, other than that, nice to see everybody.
Yeah, and we've had some really high profile clients in the past, haven't we? Tesco.
Yeah, we had Tesco, Clark. We had a great charity last year with Young Minds. And I mean, in that one, the client actually asked some of the delegates to present to their team because they couldn't believe how good they were. they wanted their team to learn from them. So yeah, it's a great course.
Cool. Thank you so much, Suzanne. That pretty much brings us to the end of the presentation. So this is just a summary of all the benefits that we've spoken about in that. And it's all for the fee of £250 plus VAT per month, which I think, and I hope you agree, is outstanding value for all the things that we've spoken about. So if you guys want to, have a chat with me about joining, please make sure that you email me. It's actually terry@allindependentagencies.org. I'll get the info one if you use that. And yeah, we'd love to welcome you into membership. Kirsty will fully onboard your team so that all of your people are receiving maximum benefit from the Alliance. And does anyone have any questions? We'll stop sharing now. Anyone? Was it that good?
You answered all.
Okay, excellent. Okay, if anyone's shy in asking questions, don't worry, just drop me an email. No problem whatsoever. terry@allindependentagencies.org. But we'll make sure that we actually send you guys this recording and the deck afterwards, so you can share it with your team. And yeah, hopefully you guys will all join. Lovely. Great. Thanks very much. Have a lovely day, everyone, and we'll see you hopefully soon.